When a group of highly talented, professional, and disciplined people unite, they can push boundaries. We are privileged to have this collection of people at Sankari, but there is a special ingredient: passion. We are here to celebrate this passion. This podcast, we call it Life Illuminated. This platform is established to tap into their insights, their opinions, and their perspectives. With that, we invite our CEO, Mark Phoenix, for our pilot episode. Hi, Mark. We go back a long time, but we did meet recently, and you invited me on this fantastic journey. And you said, come join the team at Sankari. And you shared so much about the vision and how Sankari was born. So I want to share this with all our audiences. So tell me what you told me that day.
Well, I think, first of all, I'd like to say that I think we're extremely lucky to be able to contribute to the skyline of Dubai. I heard recently that Dubai was described as an ensemble of realized dreams. And that really stuck with me because I think that counts for me. It certainly counts for Dr. Sankari, that owns Sankari Properties. When I first met him, I had already developed this district with Foster's and Partners, and in Business Bay is one of our key projects. And I could see in him a youthful optimism and confidence that we could still take things to the next level. And we shared that vision. And I think I came for a 30-minute or an hour conversation, which wasn't an interview. It was just a conversation about, we've owned these pieces of land for a very long time. Our signature piece of land in Business Bay we've owned since 2018. We've been thinking what to do with it. And we know that he knew that I had developed this area previously with Foster's and Partners and Omniat. And he was very interested in what would I have done with this piece of land if I was him. So we discussed how ultra-luxury real estate in that area was taking off and had been sort of proven with our previous projects. And for me, I always wanted to create a Foster's and Partners district in that area, and this piece of land was the pinnacle of that. So there was always one eye on this particular piece of land in Business Bay from me, with the view that one day, hopefully, we will transact with Dr. Sankari and somehow we will develop this piece of land because it's the best piece of land in Business Bay. So as our conversation developed, I got to know that there's a lot of land. There's a lot of land that's been owned for a very long time. And there was an appetite at that time to enter into real estate in a sort of off-plan development sense. Whereas previously the family have owned a lot of property in Dubai and have bought a lot of property in Dubai. So they understand the real estate sector, but have not really gone into off-plan real estate, construction, the complexities of putting together signature buildings. But there was an appetite to step into that field. So we had a very long conversation that was only supposed to be a short conversation, which kind of ended with, actually, we'd like you to come and set up this company. And we think that you have the right vision. And we'd like you to bring an elite team to set up an ultra high net worth servicing business that starts with real estate. So it was very exciting. And, for me, it's an exciting challenge. But it's a challenge that I share with a team that I've worked with for a long time, including you, 8 years now. So I'm excited to put a sort of stamp on Dubai. I've been here 17 years. I've been involved and been responsible for a lot of very nice projects, sort of setting the benchmark, I would say, for this ultra-luxury space. So it's nice to take it to the next level. And that was the challenge that was set. So it can be quite daunting. But as I said before, I have a youthful optimism. And I think that means that I do think you can do things that people say are not possible. I think if you're limited by your ambition and you don't want to work, you won't succeed. But I think Dubai, the architect of Burj Khalifa, which is my favorite building in the world, which is SOM, he said 20 years ago in Dubai that this place is only limited by your imagination and gravity. And that's so true even today. And you see it everywhere. So I think there's a shared vision with the ownership. We share common values in that we are financially conservative. We have the resources to do what we say. And we have an ambition to set the bar. And the bar in Dubai is very high. And a lot of the bar in the ultra high net worth space was set by me and my team over the last 15 years. So it's quite a challenge that we've taken on, but it's great fun. And we enjoy what we do. And we know that we'll be successful.
A year on now, what makes Sankari special today? Because when you look at your past experience, you've been with some of the top brands in this market. What would you say makes Sankari special and pioneering?
I think that we're very fortunate that Dr. Sankari managed to, or had the foresight to purchase such great land plots in great locations. So we have land in Business Bay, of course, but also lots of plots in Palm Jumeirah. So we have a lot of access to an existing land bank. So our portfolio, as it stands today, is around $2 billion. $1 billion of that is in this tower in Business Bay. But I think what makes us special is that to enter into this ultra luxury space, it first starts with location. We have the best locations. We have a great team. So we have a team that have delivered in this space before. So I've been recruiting and working with development people for 30 years in the UK and here. And it's not easy to find people that can actually do things. There are a lot of people who can nudge things forward a little bit, fit into a big machine, but it's very few people that can actually take responsibility for their work and other people's work and help, and are not political and see the vision and share the drive. Because at the beginning of any business, you know, we have this, it's often called this cult phase or this gang phase. And I was often described by my previous chairman as being very good at running a gang. So I'm very good at startup. I'm very good at the first 5 years, and I'm very good if your company's in trouble. So for me, because I'm very good at collecting key people together that understand what they need to do, that don't sit around and say, that's not my job, that look at the clock, that work from a certain time to a certain time. So I've worked with a lot of people, so I can identify those people and attract them to come with me. And we're a very sort of output-driven business. So you can either drive outputs, which is my style, which is I like to set a challenging output, and then everybody else work out how you're going to do it. Or you can set inputs, which means you have to be sitting at your desk at this time, from this time to this time. You're allowed to go for lunch from this time to this time. And this is a very different business. This is a entrepreneurial real estate business, which has a small number of elite professionals that know what they're doing. So I don't need to sort of tell people where they should be at what time. They already know. They know what they should be doing because they're driven by the output. So you know that we are working all the time. So you know that if you send me a message at 9 o'clock at night, I will reply. If I send a message at 4 o'clock in the morning to somebody, they generally reply. And I feel bad because I think I only sent this because I'm awake, because I'm always awake then. But then people respond to it. I think, oh no, this is turning into a habit for everybody. But I think what's special for us is that we're a collection of people that have worked together for a long time. We know each other. We don't need to play games with each other. We have a common vision that we want to develop ultra luxury real estate. We want to be the best in that sector. We have a lot of experience and a lot of learning from the last 16 years in Dubai. We've seen what worked and what didn't work and what could be improved. So now the challenge, as always has been for the last 18 months, put all of that together and create something that's more special than everybody else, which we're doing. So already we're seeing that people are buying our properties, are very happy with the product, very happy with the level of service that they'll get. So it's rewarding to see that there's some payback for the effort.
You focused a lot on ultra luxury segment. So I want to understand, because today when you see real estate, every project is luxury or presents itself as ultra luxury. So what is really the true essence of ultra luxury? And what is Sankari going to do within that space?
I think luxury is a word that's thrown around a lot. And a way for me to describe something that isn't luxury in real estate is, for example, a large developer here that was talking to me about luxury developments said to me, I'm developing these projects which have, your normal apartments, 1, 2, 3 bed apartments, but I'm going to make them ultra luxury. So maybe you could advise me which marble I should put on the floor. And my response, of course, is that doesn't make it even luxury. Just changing materials doesn't work. When we first look at a piece of land like Sankari Place, the first job, if you like, is to write a design brief of how people will live there. So when I first set up Sankari, within the first week, I wrote a design brief because I wanted Foster's to complete their district with this project, their pinnacle of their district, as they say. And I wanted to describe to them how people will live in this building, because for me, it's always function over form. We need to work out and deliver spaces that people will live in, that enhance their health span, their lifespan, and their lifestyle. So the first thing to do is to describe what will be in this building that will deliver against that. And then the reason I like Foster's and Partners is they work in exactly that way. So they never start with how the building will look. The way the building will look comes out of the process. So we always start with, what is the function of this building? What are the spaces that you're trying to deliver? And then it comes out as you go through that process. So for me, in terms of ultra luxury, of course, unit sizes are generally quite big. So in our Sankari Place project, we start at sort of 7,500 square feet. We start on 3 beds. We don't have anything less than a 3 bed, smaller than a 3 bed. Each unit in this ultra luxury space, privacy is obviously very important. So each unit is on an individual floor. Each unit has its own huge terrace, its own pool. There's security. There's a lot of facilities in the building that mean that you as an owner shouldn't need to go outside to do anything if you choose not to. So if you want to, we have a business center, so you can have meetings. We have private dining, so if you want to have a dinner party but you don't want people to come to your home, we have a private dining area with full kitchen so that we can organize to bring chefs for you for your parties. We have a spa. We have indoor pool, outdoor pool. We have a huge gym. And I think one of the big learnings of the last sort of 15 years in this space is that generally everybody in this ultra high net worth sector is obsessed with their health. And probably because they want to enjoy their life for longer. And they have access to all the information about how they can improve their health, how they can improve their health span, which is the most important thing. So for us, it's critical that we have a huge gym. So we have the biggest gym that I've ever built in a residence in this building, which is which means that none of our owners need to be a member of a gym somewhere else, and that's important. And we have a lot of sort of private spaces for people to bring trainers so they don't have to train in a gym where everybody else might be. We have lots of kids areas, and in particular for this plot, we were fortunate because the plot next door came up for sale. So we took advantage of that and we purchased that plot, which meant that actually now we can provide tennis courts and paddle courts, which is quite unusual for a residential building in a business bay setting. I think the nearest tennis court to us is Burj Khalifa, because you generally don't have the space, but we have the space because we bought the plot next door. So I think if you were to describe sort of ultra luxury development, it's about taking all of the things that somebody at this level will need to enhance their life and providing it. Because it's not about just choosing some nice materials. I mean, that comes, of course, but it's more important to deliver upon a lifestyle that they expect. Because at this level, purchasers and residents, they can afford whatever they want to enhance their life, and they're happy to pay as long as they see it and they get it. So it's important that you deliver what you promise and that you pay attention to the details, because these customers and these purchasers, they know what they want. They understand specification. So there's no, you have to make sure that if you are providing for this level, that all the specifications of all the things that go into the building and into these apartments are at the right level, because it's normal for most of the people that buy these apartments. They have multiple houses. They're very used to these brands and very used to, this level of luxury. So, and are happy to pay for it as long as you provide it. So I think the big difference for us is that we are providing it all. We don't really have a limit. We sort of said, let's dream about, as an ultra high net worth person, what do you want from your residents? And we will give them all of it, which is what we're doing.
You spoke a lot about ultra luxury lifestyle and the segment of this caliber of people. How do you make sure that these people are taken care of once the project is handed over?
So most importantly for us, because we will be associated with this building for the next 40 years. So, and the life cycle of these real estate projects can be anything up to 10 years, from buying a piece of land to working out what to do with it to delivering, can take a very long time. So you have to be obsessed about the details that go into the building, but also you have to be concerned about what will happen after the building's finished and people live there. So at this level of purchaser and this level of resident expects a level of service that they can get from a 5-star hotel. So it's a critical point for us that we want to make sure that our residents are looked after properly, and also that our asset is looked after properly after it's completed, because we've spent so long putting it together. So historically, I always wanted to bring hospitality partners in to manage residential buildings. It's very difficult. And sort of we were very successful previously. I was obsessed with Dorchester for a long time. I'm from the UK, so I always enjoyed the Dorchester, but they were never here in Dubai. And it took me a year to persuade them that they should come to Dubai. A lot of people were trying to bring them to Dubai, but we convinced them back in 2014 that we would do a proper job, deliver something of quality, and they were convinced by that and came. So, and we saw a big shift in sort of our purchasers' profiles once we introduced this 5-star hotel, because they realized then that actually if I live there, I'm really going to be looked after. So for Sankari Place, it was critical that we bring somebody at that level or above that level. And I have a good nose for sniffing out these brands historically that are not in Dubai, that are at that level. So I looked for particular 5-star hotels that can really deliver, that are not here, I prefer. and I settled on Regent. So I made it my mission to bring them. Regent are sort of an ultra-luxury 5-star hotel operator. They have about 10 properties at the moment. Some of their properties are signature properties wherever they are. So they manage the Carlton Cannes, which is the hotel in Cannes. They manage the Regent in Hong Kong, again, the hotel in Hong Kong. And they're a business and a team that are used to, on a daily basis, looking after ultra-high net worth individuals. So you will know that if you go to Carlton Cannes during the Cannes Film Festival, you can't really stay in the hotel because it's booked years in advance by Hollywood A-listers. So, for example, this year, if you went to the Carlton when the film festival was on, there's a fence in front of it because nobody's allowed in because Kevin Costner and people like that are in there. And then they go to the film festival, which is just down the road. So this brand is at that caliber already of looking after people who stay in their properties. So for me, they were target number one. I was determined to get them. But there's always a challenge with a hospitality brand when you're not actually building a hotel. So it was a big endorsement for us that Regent said, actually, for this building in this location, with the design that you have, we would come to Dubai and we will do the first residential managed property for Regent worldwide. So it's a big step for them, but for us, it's a big endorsement. And, you know, Regent is part of a much bigger group, which is IHG, which is the third largest hotel group in the world. They have nearly 1 million hotel rooms under management. They're incredibly professional, which I like, and they're incredibly organized. So I know they will do a good job, and I know that they will look after our residents properly. And when our residents move in, they expect to get a managed and serviced lifestyle. So whatever they want, they should be able to get. And Regent are used to providing it. So, for example, if it's one of their children's birthdays, Regent will organize the party. If they need someone picking up from the airport, they will send the car. If they want to have a private dining party, Regent will organize it. Regent will look after the building to a 5-star standard. We have so many facilities to look after, and they will make sure that they're maintained at that level. So it's critical at this sort of level of residential development, you must have the right provider and the right manager to look after your residents after. So I'm extremely happy with Regent. I'm extremely happy that they are so confident they want to put their name on the building. So the building will be called Regent Residence Dubai, Sankari Place, because this location for me will always be Sankari. It will always be Sankari Place. But we're very happy that Regent are coming to look after our residents and our building once it's completed.
Tell me how you envision Sankari Place to contribute to Dubai's overall positioning.
I think the buildings that we've done previously over the last 15 years together have set the benchmark. So people talk about One Palm. Even when we came in here, somebody mentioned One Palm. Because One Palm was quite revolutionary at that time. When we decided to do One Palm in large format apartments, everybody said we were crazy, and everybody said, you'll go bankrupt doing that. Nobody's going to want these big apartments and all these facilities. And you know, people would rather just go to a health club, or they don't need an indoor swimming pool. And we sort of proved them wrong. So I think for Sankari Place, for us, the challenge is how do we take that to the next level? And that's something that we've been working on for a long time. We've developed sort of an understanding of what this sort of customer requires, and we want to provide it all. So the sort of direction and the vision from Dr. Sankari was, you know, we know everything that you've done previously, put it all together, and how do you then take it to the next level? Because that's what I want. So that's our challenge, and I think we've achieved that with the design. We have the best designers. We have Foster's and Partners, of course. We have Portia Fox, Yodazine, who I'm obsessed with. And we have the best manager. So as a package, it's now complete. So now we're ready to go out to market. So we'll be very happy to see how it's received in the market, but we're expecting it to be very positive.
So in your opinion, we've seen a lot of launches and announcements, branded residences, recently. And like you said, ultra luxury segment is not the same as what, you would normally have in the market claiming to be luxury and ultra luxury. What do you think is the future of ultra luxury real estate in Dubai?
I think there's only, there's very few ultra luxury projects and even fewer ultra luxury developers. So I think the increase in branded residences. So developers that are using, for example, car brands or jewelry or fashion or furniture, for me, it's just a project identifier. So it's not, it's branded, it has the name on it, but really I don't see those people providing any service later. So I don't see you as a customer or as a purchaser having any advantage later when you actually move into the building, other than perhaps some pieces have some design signature from that brand. But for me, as you know, if you're going to rely on someone to do design, then get a designer. So there are very good designers around the world. Go and get one of them to design your building. I wouldn't rely on a jewelry brand to help me design something, unless it's jewelry. So I think this rise of branded apartments is more of a sort of mid-market thing. For me, it just identifies the building, so you know where it is. And you see it in the pricing. So you can see that customers and purchasers they don't pay ultra luxury prices for a standard branded apartment. They pay a little bit more than perhaps if it's not branded, but they understand that it's not a sort of branded and managed apartment. It's just a branded apartment. And when the building's finished, you move in. There isn't somebody from the brand, I don't think, going to make sure that your life is fully catered. So there's a big difference, and ultra net worth buyers, they know that. They know the difference. They see the difference. And whilst they might invest in this sort of product, they're actually buying our apartments and our units to live in. So generally we sell to end users. We offer lots of bespoke services. So if you buy early enough, we can amend the design for you. So we can change the number of bedrooms, we can add certain things. So we already have buyers in our Sankari Place project, and we're converting 3-bedroom apartments to 2 bedrooms with private spa, for example. We have one customer who wanted that, and it's a service that we offer. So this sort of customer, he might buy a mid-market branded product, but he has no intention of really living there. He might buy it as an investment, but he wouldn't necessarily live in that apartment.
What is your view on the future of real estate in the market?
I think in Dubai, we have a population increase that's not stopping. So at the moment, population is increasing by about 100,000 people every year. So we're at a fixed population at the moment of about between 3.5 and 3.6, and we have a transient population that can take it up to about 4.3 million people. And increase in population is running pretty consistently now at about 100,000 people a year. So those 100,000 people that come here, in my estimation, need between 35 and 40,000 homes every year. As a development community, we are not delivering 35 to 40,000 homes every year. We're only delivering about 30,000 homes on a good year, and that's in the mass market. So that's why you're seeing rental prices increasing, property prices increasing, because the demand is there. So as long as population continues to increase, there will be no slowdown in property and in residential development, and also office development, because people work somewhere. So, and I think the vision of Dubai leadership is pretty clear, that there is a clear policy to allow the population to increase. There's huge investment in infrastructure here, like nowhere else in the world. over sort of 42% of the Dubai budget goes back into infrastructure in 2024. So that's roads, metro, bridges, tunnels, all of this sort of stuff that is ongoing. And you see it when you live here. When I came here, I went on a new bridge that I don't think was there last week. I don't know where it's come from. So there's a lot of input on infrastructure, and the infrastructure is like nowhere else in the world. The recent announcement that there will be a new airport, $35 billion investment in a new airport, an airport 5 times the size of the airport we have now. I mean, the airport we have now is the second busiest airport in the world. 90 million passengers pass through that airport, and we expect to get 250 to 300 million at the new airport, which has been announced. And you know that it's Dubai, so it will happen very quickly. So when something's announced, it's done. And so we can see that there's a drive to increase the population. I think the forecast is by 2030, we get to about between 5 and 5.5 million people, and those people have to live somewhere. So I don't see a slowdown in property, in residential property pricing or development. I think it will now continue in quite a consistent manner. And we all know that the reason that people are coming to Dubai is that it has so many advantages over the rest of the world. So it's incredibly safe. The infrastructure is like nowhere else. The security is there. Schooling, healthcare is all at the very top level in the world. And I think post-COVID and the management of COVID was seen that everybody could see that the way that COVID was managed here was the best in the world. So there was a very short shutdown, but then everyone just got on with their lives, and we followed the rules, and we got on with our lives, on with our business. And people would come here from the UK and see that people were eating in restaurants, and it was quite shocking for them. But that's how this city runs. Everybody that comes here is what I would call high agency. They're in the control of their lives, generally quite young, hungry, looking to work. So all of those people that are coming here, there's a lot of competition here. So if you want to succeed, you have to work hard. We work all the time, out of choice, but also because everybody else is working all the time as well. This is a city of energetic young people that want to make progress in their lives. And there are not many places in the world that you can do that. So you can come here with no connections, and if you're willing to work hard and put yourself out there and dream, it's possible. Which is, as I said to you earlier, this is a city of realized dreams, because people come here and they succeed. And people see people succeeding here. And that's really because the leadership of the country allows that to happen and pushes that to happen. And I think the biggest thing for me is the security. I have children here, so I want good schools, good healthcare, and I want security. And you get all of that here. And there's a definite sense here that this place is self-policed. So everybody that lives here understands how you should live here. And if you don't want to live like that, then you shouldn't be here. So I think there's a lot of sort of self-policing. Nowhere else in the world can you drive your car somewhere, leave the key in it, go and come back and your car will be there. You can leave it running, can do what you like. You can leave your house open. Nobody's going to go in there, because there is just an understanding that that's how we live as decent human beings. And we live together. It's a multicultural city that is working and living together. Everybody is here to work, make money, and look after their families in a sort of respectful way. And people that come here and don't want that, they don't last long.
So it's very clear. We've spoken at length about this, and you don't see an immediate correction coming. And we've talked about this. But why would ultra high net worth individuals pick Dubai as one of their key places to live?
Well, I think it's, as I said, Dubai is very safe. And a lot of the ultra high net worths that we sell property to, they don't generally live here all year round anyway. So they'll tend to have a base here for 4 to 6 months a year, because in winter it's fantastic. So I recently heard that Dubai was voted the #1 city for nomads, which basically means through all the infrastructure, internet connectivity, etc. If you have a business that's you can work on that's quite mobile, this is the best place to be in the world. So I think ultra high net worths come here because they understand you can have a lifestyle that you want in safety, with good security. If they have children, the schools here are excellent, the healthcare here is excellent, and they can have a comfortable life. And in other places in the world, maybe there are compromises to that. So, you know, in other parts of the world, maybe they can have a fantastic home and fantastic school, but maybe they have to compromise a little bit on security and safety. So they have to be careful when they go out. I think recently I read that Sheikh Mohammed said, if you're a lady walking in the street in the middle of the night on your own and you're safe, then you're in Dubai or you're in the Emirates. And it's so true. And you get complacent about that, right? You get complacent. You start to think, and when I go home, my friends are always laughing because I would just leave my wallet on the table and walk away. No, you're not in Dubai anymore. You can't do that here in Manchester or wherever it is. It's kind of like you have to look after your things. Whereas here, you just don't even think about it. It just becomes ingrained in your mind that, you know, that you're surrounded with decent people that wouldn't do that to you. You know, so I think ultra high net worths that come here, they see they can have a lifestyle, they can have security, they can look after their families. There is so much business opportunity here. There's very little business friction. So it's very easy here to set up a business, get a 10-year visa, and set up your life. And there are so many businesses and facilities that help you set up your life quickly. So it's a very frictionless place to live, and a very frictionless place to set up businesses, which, you know, we've set up several here, and it's not been difficult compared to other places in the world.
Fantastic. It's been great hearing your thoughts again. Every time I listen to you, I have something new. So it's really nice. Thank you very much. And good luck to us on the launch of our project.
Well done, Mina.